Today I want to talk about discerning hedonism for autumn and winter. More specifically, how to get the best bang for your buck from Bordeaux. Now, when I am thinking about Bordeaux, I think of it as one of the largest fine wine producing regions in the world. They produce over 900 million bottles annually. So you can find some great stuff and then some not so great stuff. So the three golden rules I like to think about is: when was this wine produced? Vintage is very important. Who is the winemaker, or who is the family behind this? And what is the reason for this wine being produced? Now, when it comes to vintage, I go with Jancis Robinson's golden rule of 5. Basically, since 1985, any year which is divisible by 5 usually is pretty good. So the two bottles in front of me are from 2020. Boom, we know these bottles will be good. And then when I'm thinking about who's produced them, these are two bottles from Goodhouse Waddesdon Wine Portfolio, who are the wine producing branches of the Rothschild family. Now, the Rothschild family have been around for hundreds of years, and they're known for their consistency, their quality, and also their enterprising endeavors with wine worldwide, but also their homeland of Bordeaux. So I know that they've been doing some really interesting stuff. The two bottles in front of me, one of them is £62, one of them is £25. That might sound high, but when I tell you why they are produced, you'll know why these really over-deliver for those prices. One tip I can also give when trying to find excellent value Bordeaux is to look for the second wine of an illustrious estate. So this bottle here, which is £62, comes from Moulin de Duhart. So this is the second wine of Château Duhart Milon. And why this wine is such great value is that the vineyards lie right next door to Lafite, perhaps the most iconic Bordeaux wine produced. And what is super interesting is that this chateau and its vineyards lie next door to Lafite, and in the 18th century, these grapes were actually put into the second wine of Lafite. So it's already been blessed with Lafite pedigree. Then in 1962, the chateau was actually bought by Baron de Rothschild of Lafite, and a lot of money was put into replanting the vineyards and into redoing the winery itself. So what you essentially have are vineyards in the same soils as Lafite, that same bedstone of limestone and gravel and sand, just at a slight lower elevation and northerly exposure, which kind of makes it slightly earthier. But it's the same team who work at Lafite, who work at Château Duhart Milon, the same fancy pants winery as Château Lafite, and they use the same similar kind of barrels. And this second wine, which is fantastic. I mean, I love it because you do get lovely earthiness, you do get full dark cassis fruits and blackcurrant. And believe me, this has been open for 5 days and is still tasting amazing. The finish still goes on and on and on. What's so incredible is, yes, these are younger vines and there's slightly more Merlot in it than the Grand Vin of this chateau. But actually, when you're drinking wines young, that's what you want. You want to be able to enjoy the more sumptuous, generous fruit offered by the Merlot. And then you don't need as much oak aging, because there's only 10 months of oak aging which goes in here as opposed to the 2 years for the Grand Vin. But the second wine here absolutely delivers the density and intensity one would associate with the Pauillac region, as well as the Lafite elegance. I just think it is a real steal for £62, and having that slight extra Merlot means that it's really enjoyable to drink after just 4 years. My next tip for how to find great value Bordeaux is don't just look at the really well-known regions, because there's been a lot of investment in the less glitzy areas. Listrac, for example. Now, Chateau Odilon, named after Odilon Redon, who was a painter who resided in this chateau, is in the Listrac, which has amazing limestone, which makes it great for Merlot dominant wines. So again, if you're wanting to drink Bordeaux wine at a younger age, look for the Merlot dominant blends, and they'll be showing really well. And Chateau Odilon was actually bought by Baron Edmond de Rothschild in 1979. He already had the neighbouring estate, Malmaison and Chateau Clark, and he really saw the potential of these amazing limestone vineyards. So they put in a lot of investment again, replanting, restructuring the winery, and you'll actually find the grapes from Chateau Odilon in the second wine of Chateau Clark. And what I find really exciting about this region is that it's one of the coolest regions in Bordeaux. So with climate change, I think we're going to be starting to see wines which can still be really classic and elegant regardless of what happens, whilst also giving very generous fruit with Merlot, which grows so well on these soils. And with this wine here, it does have a high content of Merlot, which gives really plump cassis and plum fruit. But then, thanks to the 14 months of oak, you do get a little bit of vanilla spice, but then the limestone retains this wonderful brightness in the wine combined with this licorice spice. So for £25, I just think this is a really under the radar chateau, which should be on your list. And I'm definitely really excited to keep an eye on what kind of finds I will find from Listrac in the future with inevitable climate change. But let's not think about that and just enjoy beautiful wines from Bordeaux without breaking the bank. And to find more information on these wines and to buy the wines, just go to goodhousewaddesdon.com. All information will be in the caption with this video. Cheers, guys.